It's time for some holiday merch, and it's available right now. This awesome design that I'm wearing on this premium red t-shirt features some of my favorite characters that I've sculpted throughout the years. We've got Medusa, Pretzel the Clown, the Orc Warrior, Plague Doctor, Original Winter Warlock, Ice Cream Man, of course, and the first Krampus that I made. And they're all decked out in their holiday gear. So if you want to snag this brand new design, it is available on t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and so much more in so many different colors. And then, if the holiday thing really isn't your vibe, I've got a classic version available as well with all the same characters, just minus the holiday theme. If you want to get your hands on this merch, it is available for a limited time only. Click the link in the description box below and get it before it's gone. Hey everyone, Ace of Clay here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another sculpting video. But if you're new here, I'm a sculptor and every week I make a new sculpture. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos. Today I'm making a big mixed media winter warlock. Now a few years ago I actually made a winter warlock that is based on the Rankin Bass special Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but that one was completely made out of polymer clay. But if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's kind of old, but it's still a cool project. This guy is also going to be based on that Rankin Bass winter warlock, but I'm going to modernize him, make him cooler, more realistic, creepier, of course, and I'm really excited to show you how he turns out. He's bigger, he's better, and I cannot wait to share this process with you. So I guess without further ado, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ace of Clay, and let's get started. Hi, welcome to another video. Okay, so today we're making a winter warlock, and just like with my Krampus sculpture, I'm going to start with this nice styrofoam cone for the body, but I'm going to be heavily modifying this because I want him to have a completely different shape. So I'm basically just going to be using this cone for the base of his like robes, and then I'm going to add some wire and we're going to bulk out a completely different shape and then cover that in epoxy and then go from there. So the first step is to take off this plastic. Okay, so I got this nice little steak knife here and I'm going to cut the base right here, I think. And then what that's gonna do is get me the base that I want. There we go. We've already got a mess. What I'm gonna do now that I have this is I'm going to poke some wire into it, and then the wire is going to form his spine, and then we'll start bulking with some foil. This is a weird angle. I guess that's good. Wow, that looks horrible. What a horrible angle. What am I doing? I feel like being able to see what I'm doing is a very important part of this channel. It's a little better. I feel like the lighting is like way better on this camera than this one, and this is the important one. Whatever, okay. Poking this in to the styrofoam, and then we're gonna go up here. Just gonna lean back, forward. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to double it up and twist it around itself to make it more reinforced. Because I don't want it to sag with all that heavy epoxy on it. It's back in the hole. So this is the head, will be like this. His arms will be like up here. And then we're just gonna mess with this until, you know, we're happy. But there we go, the start of our sculpture. This is the armature. Now, for the next part, I'm gonna take some aluminum foil and we're gonna start bulking out the rest of the body. And then, like I said before, we're gonna put some epoxy over everything. Where did I put my rubber gloves at? Found them. Right now, a bunch of people told me too that if the epoxy part B turns yellow, you can still use it. Right now, we're gonna start adding the epoxy to the armature. Got a little bit mixed up here, nice and soft and even. Let's stick it on. All right, our Warlock is completely covered in epoxy sculpt. He's gonna be rock solid tomorrow. He's not gonna be going anywhere. All this armature is gonna be beautifully embedded in there, and I'm really excited to take it to the next step. So I will see you tomorrow once this is completely cured. All right, we are back on day 2, and our guy is rock solid, looks great, really excited about that. Everything went nicely, and he's gonna be a very solid sculpture when he's done. So that's great. I'm gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna start sculpting his head, face, and hands. I'll be using some living doll for that, just like we did last time with Krampus, and we're gonna get started. And of course, we all know the first step is to bulk out the head with some aluminum foil, a little bit bigger. All right, so I got my living doll conditioned here. Again, this is definitely Sculpey's most premium clay that they make, and I think it's actually the best polymer clay I think I've ever used. I'm not just saying that either, and they're not paying me to say that. I just say it because it's how I feel. Now, just for some added security, I'm gonna put some Bacon Bond on the head. It does help the clay stick though, I will say that. Bacon Bond or oven baked clay adhesive is good stuff. Just want to widen that smile a little bit more. I think it's a little more effective, a little creepier. All right, now I've got the face and head to a good point. I really like it. What do you think? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to brush some clay softener on the surface. I'm gonna dab the surface with my paintbrush, give it a nice little skin texture, and then we'll go ahead, make the armature for his hands, and then we'll bake everything. So, clay softener time. Now remember, for the hand armature, all I'm doing is making the palms and poking wire into it for each of the fingers. All right, we've got the main part of his hands, and now I'm going to use my wire. I'm going to poke it into those pieces to create the armature for each of his fingers. There is our hand armature. And now before I bake him, I'm actually going to do the ears after he's baked. So I'm just gonna add some indentations where the ears are gonna go so that I can easily make them. All right, there we go. My indents are in. Now I'm gonna bake him with the hands. All right, I'm back. The head is baked like this. Looks good. And then, so are the hands. Nothing special there. Okay, now I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna sculpt the ears, just because I feel like sculpting the ears right now. So I'm gonna sculpt the ears, then we'll make his hands, and then we'll bake one last time, then we'll come back, paint, start the fabric. Now, instead of using my ball stylus to move the clay around, I'm gonna use this little gouging tool to actually remove the clay, because I don't wanna start, you know, mushing clay everywhere and then changing the shape of the ear. I do that sometimes, but right now it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. So we're just gonna do it this way. All right, there's ear number one, nice and big. All right, let's go ahead and do that other one. All right, we've got the ears done. Look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and set him aside and let's start his hand. All right, there's one hand. I'm gonna go ahead and make the other one off camera and I'll be right back. All right, I've got both hands done. They look pretty good. I'm gonna brush them with some clay softener to get the fingerprints off, and then we'll bake them with the head again. All right, there we go. The hands look pretty good. I'm going to hang them upside down in my oven like this on a rack that I put at the very top of my oven so they don't touch anything and there's no flat spots, and then we'll be good to go. We'll come back and paint. Be right back. All right, we're back. Everything's baked and we're ready to paint. Check out, his head came out nice. The hands look pretty good. Let's start by painting the head. And this guy is going to be pretty much blue. But of course, you know, we're gonna do some shading, some highlights, all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and get that blue base coat on first. I'm going to water down some of my blue color and put that on first over the entire surface just to make him blue. And then we'll go from there. So let's figure out what shade we're gonna paint him. Got some coastal blue here. Now I do wanna keep the translucency of the clay, so I don't wanna be too heavy with the blue. So I just wanna be careful. But again, look at how that living doll baked. So smooth. I have this color mixed up. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the hands. So far, it's looking pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna take some pearlescent white from, this is the Lumiere by Jacquard, or Jacquard, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna water this down. This is like a pearly white color, and it's gonna make him look, I hope, kind of frozen, and it's gonna sort of blend all those colors together, smooth him out, and give him a nice dewy finish. I don't want him to look metallic though. I just want to give him a little bit of a sparkle, I guess you could say. Starting the back here. See that? Just give him a little bit of sparkle. Do that with a little bit of this blue here too, but I really just don't want to overdo it. Let's glue it on. I haven't used these in so long. I'm still trying to figure out if I want his eyes to be white or black. All right, I'm gonna put the lids on these before I overuse them and regret it. This one has a really nice shift to it. See that shift? Beautiful. This is gonna give it that nice, like, sort of oil slick kind of finish. I don't use metallics in this way very often, so it's kind of fun. All right, now I think we're gonna do the eyes. I think we're gonna make them white. Actually, I want them black. Oh my God, look what I just did. Please come off. Could have been worse, could have been worse. You can always fix paint. This is the smallest brush I could find. Look at that. I paid like $10 for 3 hairs. All right, now we're gonna put all the paint stuff away and we're gonna start the hair. All right, now before we start the hair, let's take a second to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Shudder. Summer is over, there's a chill in the air, we're in the middle of fall, and it is the perfect time for scary movies. I mean, if you're me, it's always the perfect time for scary movies, but let me tell you, there is no better place for horror than Shudder. They just got so many new movies and series, like a new season of Creepshow and VHS 94, which is a brand new installment in the acclaimed found footage anthology franchise. And that is just the start of their new lineup. There are new specials from Elvira, Joe Bob Briggs, a new season of the Bollet Brothers' Dragula, their new docuseries Behind the Monsters, on the origins and pop culture dominance on your favorite modern movie monsters, and more. And when I say they have horror titles, they've got it all. Carrie, Superhost, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Medium, and of course my personal favorites like the Halloween franchise, and classics like The Hills Have Eyes and Nosferatu. Not to mention their platform is so easy to navigate and find what you want. So get started streaming the best horror, thriller, and supernatural content. Shudder's expertly curated collection includes so many must-see titles, and that's coming from me. To try Shudder for free for 30 days, go to shudder.com and use promo code ACEOFCLAY. That's SHUDDER.com. Use code ACEOFCLAY and get it for 30 days. Now back to the Winter Warlock. All right, let's start the hair. I've got this nice fluffy white synthetic wool here. I could do the yarn thing again, but I just don't like the look of that for him. So I'm just gonna start by undoing a few locks of this. How's that for an eyebrow? I was gonna cut it, but I'm glad I didn't. All right, there we go. He's got some hair. I really like it. Oh, look at him. He's really goblin-y, I will say, but that's okay. Goblin, warlock, whatever. Good morning, we're back. It's the next day. I'm a little tired still, but I'm feeling fresh. Now, here's our thing. Here's the body. And what I need to do today is I need to get all of the fabric on him. I need to make his robes. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sleeves, and then I'm going to make the body part, cut everything out, get it the shape that I want to be. Then we're going to dip it into some half Mod Podge, half water type of deal, and then place it on. So first things first, let's make the sleeves, because those are probably the hardest part. Oh, and then here's the fabric I got. I'll just show you everything. And then my Joann Fabrics haul. So look what I got here. Okay, so I got this cotton blue, like baby blue kind of fabric. It looks a lot brighter on the screen. I assure you it is not nearly as bright as what it's showing up, but it's like this nice dull blue. Got 4 yards of that. Don't know why I needed so much. I guess I just think I'm gonna screw up all the time, so I just buy way more than I need. Anyway, for his shoulders, we're gonna give him this nice like fur like shawl type thing. Not really a shawl, but it's gonna be part of the robes. It's gonna be built up on his shoulders. It's gonna look really cool. I got this too. It's just a different kind of fabric. It's really soft. I really like it. What is it? Just a faux fur sheet, but it's really short and it's really soft. But they only had one of these, and I didn't feel like driving around town to every Joann's that's by me, so I ended up just getting this stuff. But this is a little like, I don't want to say like creepier, but it's longer, so it can be, the potential for this to be ugly and scary is a lot higher than this. So that's just my thought process there. And then what else did I get? Oh, here. I got lots of glitter. Got this glitter here, and then I got this stuff. It's called Glitterific. This is from Plaid, so we're gonna use that for something, I think. And then I also have, it's like white, sparkly spray paint that kind of has a little bit of a texture on it, like sand a little bit, and I like that because it looks like snow. So we're gonna see what happens with this later. Now I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I just picture this creepy guy in a really gaudy, sort of pretty robe with like glitter on it and all kinds of things. Like he's like the king of the winter, and he knows it, but he's really ugly too. Like I just picture this character being like that, and I really want to bring it to fruition. So hopefully all of these materials can help me get there soon, I hope. And we're gonna start by making some sleeves. I need to plug in my glue gun. That's what I forgot to do. This thing takes forever to heat up. That's what I forgot to get to. I was supposed to get a new hot glue gun because this one is absolute trash. And then it's got this like setting on it that you can make it high or low heat, and it's like they're both low heat. There's no high setting, it's a lie. All right, so while I'm waiting for this to heat up, I'm going to start cutting out the shapes for the sleeves and put some wire in them so that I can, position the fabric how I want after it's done. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, I am not a sewer. If you know how to sew, don't watch this part. Just fast forward to the next section of this video. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're gonna cut out the arms. So you see how that's in the front there? I folded the lip over on the hot glue, and now you can manipulate the fabric to look however you want it to.
Now for the next part, we're going to unplug the glue gun. I'm actually going to take some fabric and put it along the bottom of this just so that you can't see any of that clay with what I'm going to do with the bottom. All right, now that that's on there at the bottom, I'm going to get this cut to size. I'm going to put wire in the bottom of this, just like I did with the sleeve. So the bottom can go like that, and it's going to look really good. Mod Podge and got the robe. So put some gloves on, get this moving. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw a fan on this for like 24 hours and then we'll come back and do the fun part, which is the final touches. Okay, we're back. It's been a full 24 hours and this thing is rock solid. Like, this is harder than the fabric on Krampus. So I am very pleased with it. Man, it is like on there. That's not going anywhere. Like, do you hear that? Like, I think what I want to do now is I want to dull out the blue a little bit. All right. Water down this black and get things moving. Now I'm gonna put a fan on this for a little bit, let that completely dry again, and then I'm gonna come back and I think do that fur around his shoulders. Be right back. All right, now that all that paint's on, it's also the next day, I'm gonna start putting the fur around his shoulders. And then we can go in and start embellishing and doing all the fun stuff. I'm gonna be covered in lint. Now the lady at Joann's, she didn't cut it, she ripped it. I'm assuming that's so it doesn't, you know, you're not sitting there cutting the hair. This needs to be, so I'm just gonna leave it here and I'm just gonna cut it to the shape that I want. I think that's what I wanna do. And there we go, we've got this little like fur shawl thing. Now what I want to do now is I want to put some more fur on the back of it so you don't see like this inside part. I just want it to be all fur. Now, whatever this fur is that I got, it is nice because it'll let you brush it in any direction, just like real fur. You're not stuck going, you know, one way because that's the way that the machine sewed it or whatever. All right, so we got this semi figured out, still definitely needs the finishing touches, but for the most part, I'm happy with it and now I can sleep at night. So we're gonna set that aside. I think now I'm actually gonna make him a little hat because he has a hat in the movie and my sculpture version of him has a hat. So let's go ahead and make the hat. Now we're gonna go ahead and make him a little staff. And I think I wanna make this out of clay, of course. I got this big dowel. I think I want it to come up to like here. So let's go ahead and trim this. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and bake it and then we'll paint it later. Right now it is spray paint time. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this guy in the garage and we're gonna add some of this to him. This Rust-Oleum Intense Shimmer Finish in Glitter Pearl White. So I'm really banking on this looking like snow or like ice crystals. I want this guy to look really, 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 really cold and icy and evil. So yeah, let's go in the garage and let's see what happens with this stuff. Hi, we're in the garage. Got my dude here, got my respirator, safety first, and then we're gonna start spray painting some stuff that hopefully looks like ice and snow. So let's just do it.
All right, so it definitely doesn't look like ice.
All right, so unfortunately, that spray paint stuff didn't work how I intended it to. I thought it was a white spray paint with like glitter in it, but it was actually just a glitter top coat, which is fine. It didn't, hurt anything. It just didn't do what I wanted it to. So I think we're gonna go in there and we're gonna adjust things a little bit. I got my glitterific right here. We'll try to do something with that. And then I also have to finish up his hat and attach that. pretty good.
And he's done! My mixed media Winter Warlock is complete. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this project. I'm so excited to share it with all of you, and I really hope you like him. So let me know what you think of him in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching and being here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and then check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ace of Clay. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.